Hello, my name is Michael DiMicurio, and this is my TED Talk type presentation for the Ethogram project, which revolves around my chosen species of the domestic cat. So a quick introduction. The study species, the genus species of the domestic cat is Felis catus. My hypothesis around this project is that cats that have grown up in different environments but came from the same litter will exhibit interesting behaviors among each other when they're reunited. And my prediction off this hypothesis is that one of the cats in general, will somewhat recognize its kin because of its remembered senses associated with it, like visual, auditory, smelling, those types of sensory cues that will be remembered maybe. And it will showcase a relatively high rate of social behavior among the other behaviors they also exhibit. And that's the observed cat in question. His name is Dags. He's my friend's cat. So a quick reference summary going in before I go into my project. So going into this, I wanted to learn about the sociability of cats in general that are siblings and grow up with each other, and also the sociability of cats that are around new strange cats. And what I found, the main takeaways from this research I found was that in regards to my hypothesis, I found research that says siblingless cats exhibit independent behavior among new cats in general when meeting them. And also, I found research that said single race cats, also cats without siblings, showcase lower levels of social play among cats they meet. So the methods of my project in general. So some quick backstory. Me and my friend adopted cats around the same time at the same adoption center, and we ended up choosing cats that were all actually brothers. And but they've grown up in completely different environments, and they've only seen each other again once or twice because like I was out of town and I wanted someone to watch over them. The location of my observations was that I brought my friend's cat into my apartment, and I had all the doors open and I put toys down for the sake of them being able to explore and investigate whatever they wanted. The time, I observed them on two different but consecutive days, the first at around noon, and the second time was about 6 p.m. in the evening. And I observed them for about 40 minutes each day, actually exactly 40 minutes each day. And I observed them by being mostly passive behind the scenes, and just let them naturally interact with each other and do whatever they want. And on occasion, I just introduce a toy to somewhere I saw them walking around, so they'd have something new to do maybe with each other. So the ethogram itself, the behavioral categories included social, exploratory, feeding, resting, and vocal behaviors. Social behaviors included play fighting, following, and grooming. Exploratory behaviors include exploring itself, like just going somewhere new, and investigating. Feeding behaviors included eating food, solid food, drinking water, or sharing food, which is a little bit different. I didn't put it in the social behavior category because they're not doing something with each other. They're just happening to be doing the same thing. Resting behaviors, location preference. If they're kind of slowly moving around and I noticed them like stand still or lay down for maybe 5 seconds and then get back up, to me, that shows them they're trying to look for somewhere to rest. And that leads into the next behavior, which is a resting position. Like they're laying down on their side, on their belly, on their back for more than like a few seconds, probably like a minute or much longer. And then vocal behaviors. That was basically just meowing and hissing. Not a lot of meowing, but there was a decent amount of hissing, which surprised me, and it leads me into the next part. So yeah, these are the results I got from both days, summarized in pie charts. On day one, we can clearly see that it's tied for the most frequent behaviors being resting behaviors and social behaviors, with explorative behaviors being not too far behind in second place. And then day two, social behaviors became number one, resting behaviors actually became number three, it decreased, and explorative behaviors increased to the second most frequent. And to me, which I'll talk about in my discussion, this kind of shows a sign of comfortability rising the second day. So yeah, discussion off of these results. So back to my prediction, these results support the fact that the behavioral categories, when compared to the others, were the most frequent. It was the highest on day one, but it was tied, and then the next day it became number one, not being tied. And to me, that demonstrates that the cat I observed, Dags, just knew what he was coming into the next day and was more comfortable with what he was doing. So maybe that's why he was also more explorative. But the main problem I found myself thinking about during this project was the possible comparative behaviors between the cats because of something interesting. So I have two cats. When I brought them to my place, there were three cats in general. They're all brothers, but Dags was raised in a house without other cats, and my cats were raised with each other and me in my apartment. And I do believe that this causes different behaviors as a factor, like the fact that Dags was hissing more. In fact, my cat's never hissed once, but Dags hissed quite a few times, not aggressively, just kind of defensively. And I just think that represents the independent behaviors that a lot of the studies said single raised cats exhibit when with other cats. And but going off this idea, if I were to like kind of go with this idea of wondering what factors being single raised versus raised with other cats would entail, I think that would go into what other studies have shown already. And but I think it could be interesting. And that is basically my presentation. Thank you for watching. I hope it was clear and worth watching. Thank you.